I'm just going to talk a little bit about why, the history of data, where we've come from, why it's important, and the return on investment of being more democratic with the data that we use in the workplace. So when I say data democratization, I don't mean that everyone should be able to access data, everyone should be able to use the data, to analyze the data, and to make decisions in the workplace, because that's effectively chaos. What I mean is that the collection of data should come from the grassroots and from the people, rather than only from managers, only from directors, analyzing a specific type of data from a single point of view. I think it's important for people to be able to contribute their opinion and also information about the things that related to culture, so the norms, their attitudes, their opinions, feedback, KPIs, and their perspective on the data, not necessarily that it comes from a single source. And this is important because a lot of CEOs already know that culture is important and they're already discussing it at board level, but they don't actually have all the data. So they're making decisions based on incomplete information effectively. They know there's data out there, they're having the conversations about culture, but they don't necessarily have the full picture. So 91% of CEOs believe that culture is make or break for the profit, for the bottom line, and most of the data goes unused. So it's kind of an evolution that we're going through in terms of data, similar to leadership, where back in the day, I always think about 1985 leadership. I wasn't there, but what I imagine 1985 leadership to be like. It's a little bit like top down, the boss tells you this is what you must do, and this is what we're going to do, and here's why, and you don't really need to know much more. And right now, it's a little bit more democratic, or it can be more democratic, because we have the benefit of technology to make it so. So where people can be part of a tribe, they can use data in a more social way to get their point across, and almost anyone can create a business case to get their point across as well. There were quite a few things that were missing back in the day, and I think that that gap is closing because of, first of all, technology, but also knowledge that we have now about how to use data in a way that can drive culture and more facts-based decisions. But also, the reasons why there were inefficiencies, I think, were in part due to fear. So people and systems and organizations which had data which was coming from a bottleneck felt that loss of control, which no longer needs to be. So that's one issue. And also, a lot of the things that caused were inefficiency, bias, trial and error. I can't tell you how many times I've personally been in a meeting where a boss or a director has rolled out a strategy and everyone's like, look to the side like, is he serious? Has he been in the office? Does he know? Because we have information and he's never asked us, he's never looked deeper, one level deeper, and he would have found better answers. The new way. So there's so much data out there and most of it's unused, I think in part because it's really complicated when you're starting from zero or you haven't done it before. But the main themes are having data which is related to things linked to culture, so people's norms, attitudes, opinions, lifestyle information, anything that people want to give you. So reaching out and getting data, for example, from an opinion survey is useful, from a pulse survey is useful, but also having an open door. And I think it's important for that open door to be digital, only because it's easier to collect and analyze information that's digital rather than in paper form. So for example, having a digital whistleblowing box or a digital system to collect feedback, as an example. And the impact is, well, there's so many impacts. The main one, I think, and that I've seen personally and that I notice with people I work with as well, is that it's less trial and error. Strategies, especially when they're coming from the top down, generally require investment of people, investment of resources, and also time. And that's expensive to make a decision when you don't have the right data, and especially when you've got the data from the wrong places as well. The return on investment. Yeah, so more of the same really. So the benefits of investing time and investing your resources in getting your data from source. The main things I think are having more efficient strategies, first time, less trial and error, having a full understanding of what drives people, what impassions people, which makes people happier, which makes people work harder, and that's it.